What's up, people? My name is Kim-MacKinnon, and I just recently moved from Toronto to Vancouver. Today marks the 6th month that I've moved here from Toronto. I was born and raised and grew up in Toronto my whole life. Coming here was quite a drastic change, and the differences are quite noticeable. In today's video, my goal is to do something a little bit more entertaining for you guys. I've compiled a list of topics, and I'm gonna choose either Toronto or Vancouver. Basically, the focus of today's video is Toronto versus Vancouver.
Round 1, fight.
We're gonna get started with this list. Number 1, weather. When it comes to weather, hands down, Vancouver takes the cake. If you're comparing rain to snow, I would take rain any day of the week. So here in Vancouver, you get rainy winters where it's literally raining night and day. It's just gray. Apparently, a lot of people here get really depressed during the winter because sun doesn't exist in the winter. But so you have the rainy, wintry seasons, and then you have the bright, summery seasons, which are amazing. And the heat here is tremendously different from Toronto's heat. Here you have like the dry heat, and it's really pleasant because when you're in shade, it's cool and you can like kind of escape from the heat. But in Toronto, the summers can get kind of humid. And although I love Toronto summers, don't get me wrong, summers in Toronto are amazing, but when it comes to temperature wise, sometimes it can get a little bit unbearable where you're kind of, some people find it hard to breathe. I don't personally, but bottom line, it gets pretty humid there. So I prefer the Vancouver summers over Toronto summers for sure. And of course, it gets really cold, slushy and snowy in the winters. So Vancouver wins hands down. When it comes to weather, Vancouver takes the cake for sure. All right, transportation. When it comes to transportation, I think Toronto takes the cake for that one. When it comes to transportation, Toronto definitely has more options. So Toronto's gonna take this one for me. Toronto, you have the TTC, which is the local transit. You have the GO train, which takes you city to city from the GTA. You have the Via Rail, which takes you from bigger cities to bigger cities. You could take a Via Rail to like Montreal, Kingston, whatever the case may be. And then you can also take the Up Express, which takes you to the Pearson Terminal. It's basically the airport, so it's an express train that you could take to the airport. So there's a lot of transits that you can take, whereas in Vancouver, I believe the only train that travels across the greater Vancouver area is the SkyTrain. Not many options to choose from. However, it does go from city to city. It's just that I believe Toronto has a little bit more options, so for that reason, Toronto would win in that category. Job opportunities. When it comes to job opportunities, Toronto tends to have the upper hand. As our population is so dense, we just have so much opportunity for career growth as well as job opportunities. You can get a job in finance, tech, corporate headquarters, food industries, the nightlife industry. It's just so expansive and you have so much opportunity and so many categories to choose from. Vancouver, it seems like you have film, you have tech for sure, startups, and a lot of lifestyle industries, as well as anything that has to do with nature. Like if you go on the mountains, if you go on any trails, there's usually some kind of store or business associated with that. But it's that whole hustle culture versus lifestyle debate, right? Depending on your lifestyle, either or could work. But if you're looking strictly for more growth, more career opportunities, Toronto takes the win in that category. Nature and scenery. Well, pretty much hands down, we know the answer to that one. Vancouver. If you haven't been to Vancouver, you really don't understand. But when you come to Vancouver, you really, really understand. Vancouver wins 100 times over in this category. You got the mountains, you got the trails, you got the parks, ocean, beaches, you name it, they have it. Vancouver is hands down the best, in my opinion. It has the best nature and scenery all across Canada. Yeah, so you can't really beat it. I still can't get over the fact when I'm in downtown Vancouver, you get literally all the views of everything. Like you have the city skyline, but you also have the ocean, you also have the mountains, and it's crazy because you see all of that just looking in one direction. And it's wild because I'm used to Toronto, I'm used to the concrete jungle where all you see is high rises and businesses and commercial space. So it's crazy to see that when you're in downtown Vancouver. Highly suggest it. If you're visiting Vancouver, you gotta go downtown Vancouver, you gotta walk the seawall, you gotta do all the things. It's just are so beautiful because during the sunset, you get the vision of not only the beautiful sun, but the view of the ocean, the ships. Next, all right, real estate. Of course, I'm gonna touch on real estate. Real estate is something that obviously is something very close to me, but something that concerns hopefully majority of you as well. When it comes to Vancouver and Toronto, obviously, you know, they're both biggest cities in Canada. With respects to real estate prices, they're oftentimes head to head, right? They're both expensive, but a different type of expensive. Toronto is more vertical living, whereas Vancouver is more horizontal living, right? You're gonna see more mid-rises to low rises. You're not gonna see, of course, there are towers here, but not as many as Toronto. And Vancouver has many detached options. I mean, there's not a total crazy amount of inventory, but when it comes to like luxury living in Vancouver, I believe the luxury living sector is just wild here. The amount of houses and beautiful homes that they have here with the views of the mountain, ocean, like everything, you name it, it's just gorgeous. It's on a different level here. But let me pull up some stats. In 2025, as I'm recording this video, Toronto and Vancouver both have very expensive markets. However, Vancouver generally holds the title of having slightly higher average prices when it comes to homes. Also, Vancouver's housing market has shown to be a little bit more resilient during rough times, such as now. Despite both markets experiencing declines from the pandemic times, Vancouver's housing market has shown to be a little bit more resilient than Toronto. Home sales in Vancouver have been relatively stronger in comparison to Toronto, and affordability hasn't deteriorated as much as Toronto during this time from pandemic till now. As of January 2025, average and benchmark prices have declined by 6% in Vancouver and 4% from their pandemic peaks. Respectively, in GTA, the declines have been a little bit sharper. Some forecasts suggest a slightly upward trend in the upcoming years in both markets, but there's obviously many variables that come into play. Because Vancouver's market has shown just a little bit more resilience than Toronto, Vancouver wins this category. All right, the next category is fitness and outdoor lifestyle. In Toronto, there's a huge gym culture. There's a huge fitness class culture, boutique classes, urban fitness, you name it. When it comes to gyms, they have it. Toronto loves their gyms, loves their classes. Whatever kind of gym that you're looking for, they have it. Shout out Sweat and Tonic. If you're looking for a good sweat, you gotta definitely check out either the Yonge and Shooter location or the Well location. The Well is a huge master plan community created by RioCan and Allied Properties. It's honestly the best thing that ever came to Toronto downtown core. It's something that you have to go. They have restaurants, they have so many commercial and residential. It's beautiful. They have so many events there. It's just cool to go there and walk around because it looks amazing. But yeah, you definitely gotta go check it out. And if you're there, you definitely gotta check out Sweat and Tonic. It's one of the best group fitness studios. The best fitness studio in Toronto. I'm a little biased. I used to go there quite frequently because I worked there. Fun fact, I was the first instructor hired there at Sweat and Tonic. Shh, don't tell anyone. But yeah, Toronto, you name it, they have it in terms of gyms. When it comes to outdoor lifestyle, yeah, we have Lakeshore where you can go and walk, bike, roller skate, do whatever you want along Lakeshore. That's pretty much it when it comes to outdoor lifestyle. You know, you're gonna have to travel a little bit west or east, maybe at least an hour out of the city. If you wanna get any kind of trail hiking or any kind of like quiet, serene experience, because everything is just too congested. And if you're going down Lakeshore along waterfront, you're gonna be there with thousands of other people as well. So peace and quiet, you can kiss that peace and quiet goodbye. But when it comes to Vancouver, there's just so much, it's just so vast. I spoke about this earlier in the video. Everything is so serene and so peaceful. You're not gonna be overcrowded with thousands and thousands of people because there's so much to choose from and everybody's kind of dispersed everywhere. So you're gonna get the peace and quiet when you're walking down the trail. You know, I live here in Coquitlam, and if you wanted to, you can always be by yourself within 5-10 minutes of where you live. So it's just easily accessible and there's so much to choose from. So for that reason, Vancouver wins in the outdoor lifestyle category. But when it comes to fitness, I believe that Toronto has a little bit more options to choose from. Here you have Altea, which is a beautiful gym, and you have Equinox, which is equally as beautiful as a gym. But those are the two main gyms if you're like Vancouver. Everything else is just kind of little small household gyms or garage gyms. There's some decent CrossFit gyms out here as well. But yeah, if you're looking at like big gyms, I mean, yeah, they have Fitness World too. Fitness World is a chain here that they have throughout Vancouver. I think Toronto definitely has more options to choose from in terms of fitness. Food scene, oh my goodness. There's so much to say here. It's a little bit subjective. If you love Asian food, then you will love Vancouver. There's just so much Asian options to choose from. Vietnamese, Cambodian, Chinese, lots of Chinese food. Sushi, oh my goodness. Sushi and Japanese food, the best seafood you've ever had in your entire life is here. I mean, the ocean's like right at your doorstep. So you have a lot of fresh, every restaurant, even like the little holes in the wall, have fresh fish. The sushi here is next level, really puts the sushi in Toronto to shame. Yeah, once you eat sushi here, you can never go back and eat sushi in Toronto. I'm sorry, it's not the same. Be mindful. If you, oh yeah, Korean food. They have really good Korean food out here. The Korean barbecue is delicious. That's Asian food. Outside of Asian food, you don't really have a lot of great options. Yeah, you have like American food, like we have Cactus Club out here. Cactus Club is obviously pretty good. But and like White Spot, all these kind of like all these North American restaurants, yeah, you're gonna have those. But if you're looking for any kind of culture, Toronto's gonna win this category hands down. You got Jamaican, you got Indian, you got West Indian, you got Persian. They have Persian food here too. You name the culture, they have the restaurant. Too much to choose from. I love my Caribbean food. I love my Jamaican food. So they don't have that here in Vancouver. I don't think they even know what Jamaicans are in Vancouver. I've never seen a Jamaican. I'm sure they exist here. I don't know. It's too far away. Jamaicans not gonna travel out here in Vancouver. It's a quick flight to Toronto. That's why there's so many Jamaicans in Toronto. Keep that in mind. My opinion, Toronto wins that category. Toronto, food. But I love Asian food, so Vancouver, I'm fine with Vancouver as well, but Toronto. Friendliness, community vibe. It's just a known fact that people here in Vancouver are a little bit more relaxed. I think just because they get more sun and they're like so like in touch with nature. They're just a little bit more chill here. So I noticed right off the bat, it wasn't hard to make friends here. Everybody seems pretty warm. Everybody's really nice, easy to talk to. You know, in Toronto, people are a little bit colder. Maybe it's because of the weather. Maybe there's a correlation there. I don't know. They're trying to pay bills. They're trying to work. They're trying to, you know, meet their future baby daddy, baby mama, future baby mama. That's a whole side story. That's a whole nother video. Anyways, people in Toronto just got too much going on. So, you know, they ain't got no time for the chit chat. They shut business down a little bit early here. So they can, you know, people here actually fucking chillax. In fact, when it's a warm, sunny day, people fucking just take off work. They don't even work here. Chit chat. There's just too much to do. People just like go outside. Anyways, so yeah, people are a little bit nicer in Vancouver. So Vancouver wins that category. Diversity and inclusion. So in Toronto, people are more diverse. There's more diversity in Vancouver. There's more diversity in Toronto. I'm definitely noticing a trend here in Vancouver. You got Asians, you got browns, whether it's East Indian, whether it's Middle Eastern, and then you got white, Caucasians. It's either Asian, browns, or white Caucasians. Obviously, a little sprinkle. A little sprinkle of, you know, other races as well, but in Toronto it's just so vast. There's way more diversity in Toronto for sure. I mean, in Toronto they have Church Street, which is just a gay street. I don't see no Church Street here in Vancouver. Is there a gay village? I actually don't even know. Maybe I should ask my friend Jerry.
A closet to hang out in or come out of.
Maybe I should feature him on my next video. No, he pisses me off. Anyways, next, nightlife. I mean, I'm a little bit out of this topic because I don't go out as much anymore. I used to go out a lot in Toronto, and that's kind of why I love Toronto, because Toronto just had so much energy. Doesn't matter what genre you like, there's something for that. There's events all the time. Toronto never sleeps, by the way. I call it the Little Apple because we're kind of like New York, but a lot smaller. Little Apple. The Little Apple that never sleeps. That's Toronto. I love house music, and in Toronto, there's huge I blanked out. There's many options to choose from in Toronto when it comes to music events. There's always a concert. There's always some live show happening in Toronto. So the energy in Toronto is unparalleled. Here in Vancouver, I heard they like a lot of trance out here, but they do like music here. It's just when it comes to house music, they're not really as cool. Did I say that? I don't know. You guys can debate whether or not you guys are cool. Anyways, I didn't just say that. But anyways, out here they have the events closed a little bit earlier and they don't have that much. Although they did have a festival. Vancouver's catching up. They had a festival at the PNE, which is like the CNE in Toronto, a Canadian Exhibition Grounds. Canadian National Exhibition. But yeah, we have CNE, they have PNE. So they had a festival this weekend and they had John Summit, Gorgon City, Mal P. They had a bunch of artists, but they had a 2-day festival here. So I take it back. Vancouver's stepping it up, but I feel like Toronto has been doing their thing for a very long time. You know, more artists come. There's more options in terms of nightlife. Toronto never sleeps. They have a lot of energy. Vancouver, they sleep. They have a bedtime. They go to bed and they wake up and they go for walks in the mountains, sip their morning tea in the woods. Anyways, that was the end of the video. If you like this video or you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button so I can push out more videos just like this. And I want you guys to comment below, which city do you prefer, Vancouver or Toronto? Let me know. And if you disagreed with anything, please also let me know in the comments below. Maybe we can have a debate. You know, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong. Who the fuck knows? Anyways, looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. I'm gonna make many more videos like this, comparison from Toronto to Vancouver, because I just moved here. You know what I'm saying? If you guys need any help with anything, give me a shout. And if you're planning to relocate to Vancouver, give me a shout. I'd love to help you out with that process. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.